we go. One thing I want to mention to you guys is this will be uploaded into the Power Academy. Once this meeting is over, it goes. So the quicker option is, I've had a few agents to ask this, how can I get to that meeting a little bit quicker if they're not able to attend? And the answer to that is we upload all of the state meetings into our YouTube library. So any state meetings that we've held that have been recorded, they are in the YouTube library within 24 hours, and you guys can log on to there to go back and recap on the state meetings. But if you want to, of course, look at it through the Power Academy, you can go there, but it takes them about 2 to 3 weeks to upload those. So just a little FYI. Welcome to today's state meeting. Our most recent power agents in the state. So we have Rebecca Campbell, who just hit power agent. Congratulations to her. And then Heather Seymour times two. So congratulations, guys. Our new agents, welcome, Melanie Gibbs and Christy Albergo. Welcome, guys.
Hey, Melanie.
And we have some birthdays this month. So happy birthday, Melissa Johnson was September the 2nd, Karen Bailey, September the 3rd, Ron Jones, September the 8th, Talena McSwain, September the 9th, Floyd Fowle, September the 15th, Heather Barnes, September the 28th, upcoming birthday, and Jamie Hester on September the 30th. Happy birthday, guys. Our August top producers, we had 58 units closed and 10.8 million in production. We had Mary Hankins, number one. She's on with us today. Hillary Copeland, number two. Melissa Johnson is number three. Dodie Busby is number four. Wendy Colzer is number five. Six is Heather Seymour. Seven, Leslie Bourgeois. Eight, Monica Wells. Nine, Stacy Burt. And 10's Rexanne Collins. Congratulations to all of our top producers in August. And every one of our Epique agents who had a closing in August, congratulations to you guys as well. All right, this is every Thursday. We didn't have it last Thursday because I was out of town, but this Thursday it will be back on, so 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's just a informal time. You guys can log in, ask any questions that you want to ask. We usually have it for an hour. Sometimes we do some training, we do some coaching as well. So just to kind of, get you towards that get you through the end of the week. And we are going to be talking about your calendar planning for next year as well. So that will be coming up soon also. The most important topic today, the Grow Real Estate Conference. You guys are going to see some familiar faces on there. So we have October the 13th through the 15th. It's fast approaching. It's going to be at the beautiful IP Casino Resort and Spa on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We do have 1 and 2 day tickets available, so you can buy your tickets. I've got the link to that. I'll put it in there, and then I don't know if it'll work for here. I actually have a clickable link, but I don't think it's going to work with presenting to you guys. But I do want to invite all of you. This is a brokerage agnostic event. And so myself, Lee Garland, and Robbie Johnson are hosting the Grow event, and we have some phenomenal speakers. Some of you who are on the call today, you might see yourself in that picture. So it's October the 13th through the 15th, and we have a kickoff party on Monday night, a welcome party. I believe it starts at 6:30. So if you want more information, we'll put that in the chat box, and you can go and secure that ticket today. I'm not sure if we still have room block availability. Lee, are you on?
They extended room block actually ended on Friday, but they sent me an email yesterday saying they extended it to this Friday. Make sure I do know that we had somebody that was trying to book yesterday and had some trouble with it. It only let them book 2 days. There's only a few rooms left. So if you're going to do a room block, you need to go ahead and get that done today.
Awesome. And if you are thinking about possibly bringing a guest, somebody you think could benefit from Grow, let us know. We do have some guest tickets. Also, you can reach out to myself, Robbie, or Lee, and we'll help you with that as well. I want to give a shout out to Savannah Garland, who's helped us put all of this together, and Amy Garland as well, working behind the scenes. Thank you guys so much for your support. Right. Of course, you know where to find us if you need us. Most of you just contact us directly. That's the way we prefer, so you're not having to jump through hoops with Epic support. So if you need anything, we want you to know we're here to help and support you. All right, real important announcement. We've said it quite a few times, but we're going to say it again this morning. We are no longer using dot loop. Dot loop has gone away. So SkySlope is the only system that you should be operating in now. You also want to make sure your banking and billing updates are correct. If you've had any banking changes, direct deposits, so forth, you can log into the Epic Cloud portal and you scroll all the way down to the left side and you're going to see a little icon at the bottom that tells you that you can go in there and change your banking information. But we are no longer using CSU either. So the CDA request must be submitted 7 to 10 days prior to your closing, not the day before and not the day of. You guys must get your CDAs in a timely manner. That is going to help us get you paid a lot quicker. So typical turnaround time, if you've got that CDA in 7 to 10 days prior to, it's been cleared, your file's been cleared, you should have your payment within 24 to 48 hours. So the delays that we're seeing are coming in from agents just not doing those CDAs in a timely manner. So I do want to encourage all of you to make sure that you're getting your CDAs in on time. Right. Dual representation reminder, if you are representing both sides of a transaction, you're going to complete separate transactions in a separate CDA request form in SkySlope. Forget that says CSU. That's got to be updated. We're not using CSU, but you will do 2 separate CDA request form for a dual agency transaction. Right. I want to touch on land scams this morning. I've got some information for you guys. I've actually dropped it into our chat box, and I want to go over this with y'all. So I've got something I want to play for y'all this morning. Get to this real quick. We have an agent that reached out to me this morning. And she said, hey, I'm not sure, but I think this might be a land scam. The guy's not set up a phone call with her yet. And has also, he has refused to meet in person. And so we're going to talk about that here in just a second, but I want to play this for you guys to listen to what a land scam or scammer might sound like. Right. It's not playing. Sorry guys, hold on just a second. It's not coming through for some reason. I have to play it through here.
Scroll down. Good boy.
It's playing.
No. All right. Well, it sounds very convincing.
Wait, they're yeah, I have a speaker on my phone. It's not playing on my Mac for some reason. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to get a new computer after today, but just pull this back up real quick. I'm gonna play it over the recording over my phone, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. So, all right.
Hi, my name is Larry Toles, and I am calling to discuss this property of mine in JS. It's a vacant property that spans about 124 acres. Was hoping you might be interested in helping me sell the property. If you are, you can kindly text your email address to my number on 518-288-5852, and I can send you the full property information for review, and we could take it from there. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.
All right, did y'all hear that? Were you guys able to hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So some things I want to mention. He mentioned he has a piece of vacant land, was number one. He also mentioned that she could text him back and figure out a time when they could meet. So she has since been in communication with him, and those texts have been very vague. I want to read some of these texts to you guys. So she asked him a few questions. She said, and she did her due diligence. I want to read this to you guys. She said what he did was it looked very almost like a robot had typed it out in the text message, and it was too perfect. So she asked him if he could send his ID for the property. And he ended up saying yes. And then he also said, she said, I'll need your current address and email and phone number for the property location for more information. He said, okay. So then he sends this email back, did not send his license, did not send his ID. He only sent a very fictitious looking email, very suspicious looking email. So I want to read some things to you guys this morning about how you can keep yourself compliant and stay out of trouble on land scams. I've also uploaded into the chat box. There is a PDF on how to good homework keeping practices on how to avoid those land scams as well. So an imposter seller scammer, they can pose as the rightful owner. I'm going to pull this up too. I want to screen share with you guys so we can go over this together. Right. And the reason we're talking about this is because it is so rampant right now again. You know, we dealt with this a while back, but we're dealing with this even more now. Like it's becoming a huge, huge problem. If they do not, I want to start by saying this, if they do not want to send you their license or they don't want to have a Zoom meeting with you over a recorded Zoom call, those are two red flags. Like you want to avoid those scammers. We're not going to call them sellers because they're scammers. They will pose as the rightful owner, but they can also, and this is really important because we've had this happen, they can submit a fake ID. They can submit fraudulent deeds or emails used to trick agents and buyers. And you might say, what do those emails look like? Well, a lot of times those emails have the address of the property attached to them. So it might say 123 Main Street at gmail.com. If it's too good to be true pricing, I had this personally happen on one of my land listings. And my comps for the property came back at about double of what the seller wanted to list for. So he said, no, I'm just looking for a quick sale. This is when I first became familiar with the land scam. Well, we listed it. We had 4 offers on the property. And he came back and he said he wanted to take the cash offer, the one that was going to close the quickest, while yet we had another offer on the table that was 30 something thousand dollars more. And so that's a red flag there. Fake online listings, land listed on sites like Craigslist, Facebook, or Zillow by someone with no ownership, it's often vague or with urgency. Those are other things to look for as well. Phantom parcels, as we call them, selling land that does not exist. Um, they can, 9 times out of 10, they don't know the zoning or anything like that. And so when you ask them questions regarding the land scams, you want to make sure that you're asking them the right questions. Title and deed fraud. Forged signatures on deeds, we have seen that as well. If the property has been sold multiple times. Sellers going to avoid in-person meetings or video calls, as we've talked about. They're usually out-of-state or overseas owners with urgent need to sell, but they're not actual owners. Cash only, fast closing. Sometimes they don't want a title company as well. It's hard to believe, I know, but it does happen. They insist on using a specific title company. Sometimes scammers have already gotten away with fraud through that company or a corrupt insider. They might have a request to specifically use a certain title attorney. All right. You want to verify ownership, check and cross-check county tax assessor and the recorder's office, confirm names, signatures, and chain of title. Now, one thing I will caution you on, A lot of times, whenever we're dealing with these scammers, you will have fake and forged deeds and signatures. You'll also have fake IDs as well. So make sure that you know who you're talking to, and again, get them on a recorded Zoom call. That's usually the best approach that we take whenever we're dealing with someone who is requesting to list their vacant land, and they're not wanting to get on a face-to-face call with you. Escrow and title insurance, you're never going to bypass that even for cheap deals. Title insurance protects against past fraud, not current, but past. Education for buyers, if it feels rushed or too good, you're going to pause and check. All right. I know Leslie's on this morning too. Leslie, do you have any input? Any?
Hey, Natalie, good
Hey,
morning.
good morning.
So, I cannot remember that guy's name over in Ocean Springs. Do you remember his name? That attorney that was such a jerk. I wish I could remember. I'll think of it in a minute. But I mean,
Hold
I
on.
was
Kraus.
David
Kraus.
Yeah,
David
Krause.
Krause. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll need to stay away from him because he will do nothing to help you. He was involved with one that I was involved in, and really be keen on the fact that people think, oh well, I bought title insurance, so I'm covered. But you're not. If your deal goes through, that doesn't cover that you bought that. When you go in land records, you can look on the deed, and Floyd is on the call. He's been fantastic with me. I had one a few days ago, and don't think just because they've got a normal accent, they don't have a foreign accent, that they're not a scammer, because I had one in Ocean Springs. Past Christian a year ago. And I mean, he spoke as normal as we sound, and it was a scam. They also are getting smarter where they'll get on a Zoom call with you. I had one call 2 weeks ago and had a lot in Biloxi, wanted to sell on the beach. And I just pretty much told him, I said, unless you can come in the office or you can get on a Zoom call with me and provide some additional information, it's our company policy that I will not be able to take your listing. And he told me that he would be glad to get on a Zoom call with me. And he even called me back. I still think it was a fake because, it just didn't feel right. And you just need to kind of get it in your gut, and really just think about that. But do your research. Don't be afraid to tell them, I want to see your ID, or you need to get on a Zoom call with me, or I need to go do some research on your land, and go find that phone number on that deed and call it. And that's the real owner.
Yep. Yes, that is very good information. Thank you for that, Leslie. Anybody else have something they want?
That's another reason, Natalie, that I really, really like to find a closing attorney that I trust and I'm used to, somebody that we deal with on a regular basis, because they will spot that. And that guy that did the one over in Ocean Springs was adamant about using David Krause.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we never used him, and I thought it was odd. And so, really be leery if they're just adamant about a certain attorney they want to use. And I think Bob's got something to say.
Yeah, another red flag, not a red flag, but something that the agent can do that is very proactive. Figure out which lot this person is trying to sell, right? And then go into the land records and figure out the adjacent property owners. See if you can reach out to them. Chances are one of those owners will know the actual owner of the lot that's trying to be sold, and they can reach out and confirm that they are trying to sell it. This happened with me, I don't know, 8 months ago. And that's how I figured, that's how I confirmed. I suspected it was probably a scam, but that's how I figured out that this was a scam, because the adjacent landowner said, yeah, I just talked to John last week and he's aware of what's going on. And no, he is not trying to sell a property. So sometimes the adjacent landowner can be another good safety valve.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Bob.
We also have forewarn.
Yeah.
We have land ID apps that we can go and look at who the owner is, put that name into forewarn, call the number that is associated with them, and that way we confirm with the landowner.
So one thing I do want to mention, Josh is in the room here at our local office, and we have two really good apps that we use. One of those apps is automatically provided to most of the agents on this call, and it's called Forewarn. So Forewarn, you can check the by the phone number. You can put it in there to see if that actual address actually comes up, and you can cross-check by land ID. So we use land ID a lot for most of everything we do in real estate, and that is usually up to date and accurate. So I want to encourage you guys to use land ID and Forewarn. I'm going to put this in the chat box. Land ID is a phenomenal tool. It does so much more than just give you property owners' names and all that. There's actually mortgage info, past sales data, and all that in there. There's like flood zones, just like all kind of stuff that you would need for a property. So, land ID and Forewarn is how you can check and double check to make sure that those property owners are who they say they are. All right. Our next guest today is Steve Currington with Cross Country Mortgage. We are happy to be on today. Good morning, Steve. I see your airplane in the background.
Yeah, I'm at the hangar. This is the quiet place to go and do Zooms. So how's everybody doing?
Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. I have a scam to tell you guys about.
Tell us.
Okay. When the Fed drops rates, mortgage rates are going to get better. That's a scam. That's a scam. So I've been sharing this for a while with everybody, but I just wanted to plant this into your brain so you can think about it, because even 15 minutes before I got on this phone call, I have a guy that's looking at refinancing, and I was following up with him to see what he decided. And the last text that I got from him last week was waiting for the Fed to meet, and then he's going to decide if he wants to refi. And he probably should have locked before the Fed met, because the Fed doesn't set mortgage rates. They set the short-term rates that banks get. So I wanted to read this to you because it's something that I've been posting quite a bit, and I revised it a little bit. If you find me on Facebook, you can go in there and share it. Basically, a lot of people assume that when the Fed lowers the Fed funds rate, that mortgage rates automatically go down too, but that's not really how it works. So the Fed funds rate is the overnight rate that banks charge each other to borrow money. It influences things like credit cards, car loans, and short-term rates. So if you're going to a 5-year fix through a commercial bank, that's going to be based on the Fed funds rate, or sometimes based on prime, and that's based on the Fed funds rate. So mortgage rates, especially the 30-year fixed rates, are tied to long-term bonds, mainly the 10-year treasury. Investors buy and sell those bonds based on what they think the economy and inflation will look like in the future. So here's the twist. When the Fed cuts rates, it can actually spook the bond market. Investors may see it as a sign the Fed is worried about inflation or the economy. So they demand higher returns on long-term bonds. And when the bond yields go up, mortgage rates go up with it. And that's why historically we've seen mortgage rates rise after the Fed lowers the Fed funds rate. Exactly what just happened last week. And preemptively, we kind of expected that. And honestly, up until that, everyone had pretty much priced what they knew the Fed was going to meet and say anyway. And so when you're talking to customers and they're saying things like, hey, I heard there's 2 more rate drops before the end of the year. They're going to make 2 more adjustments before the end of the year. Yes, indirectly, mortgage rates can get better. And do I think mortgage rates are going to improve? Yes, I do. Do I think it's directly tied to the Fed lowering the Fed funds rate? No. And so it's just something for everybody to really just understand, that it's not just a tit for tat thing, because a lot of consumers out there just think, oh, rates dropped by a quarter. Yay. Now it's time for me to look at refinancing, or now I can go buy that house. So that's that's the message that I have for today, is that you're probably already having this conversation with people, but what I'm telling agents that I work with is that people shouldn't wait, because if mortgage rates do drop another 0.5 point, the market is going to get flooded with buyers that are coming in to buy, which means what? That means there's less houses That means there's higher demand. That means the price of the houses is going to go up. That's just how it works. So you're either going to pay a higher rate now at a lower price, or you're going to pay a higher price later at a lower rate. So you just got to pick your poison. At least when you're buying now at a lower price, if rates do drop drastically, you can refinance. And for all of our customers, we just waive all our lender fees, cost of appraisal, everything. It saves them about $2,200. If they closed and then, March rates drop a point, we're just going to go and refinance it. They'll still have like title, setting up their escrow account, that type of thing. But we'll waive all our lender fees. That way the cost of the refi makes more sense. Cool. And then for those of you who don't know me, I know there's a few on here, like Mary's on here and Natalie's on here. I think I saw Ethan on there. I saw Melissa Michelle Johnson on there. Lee Garland is, I call her Melissa. She calls me Chris because Lee thinks my name's Chris, but it's a whole nother story if you were there for that. You know why. But if you haven't used me, I'd love the opportunity to earn your business. My claim to fame is not that I'm like super intelligent or run faster or smarter or any of that. I just answer my phone, and I work 7 days a week. And I found that agents like having a lender in their pocket that they can get on the phone at a moment's notice, that they're not constantly waiting for the lender to follow up with the client. I will also follow up with your client, and I call them until they cry, they buy, or they die. So we get the application, get them pre-approved, and I just put them on follow-up. So I'm going to continue to follow up with those clients every month. At the beginning of the month, I'm going to send you an email that gives you a breakdown of everyone that you referred and what happened with them. And that way you don't have any leads that might be dying on the vine that we just get busy and we maybe forgot about, that, is out looking for a house, or maybe they were supposed to do the application and never did. So if you need a lender that's going to be responsive and communicative and answer the phone when you call, then that's me. So I'd love the opportunity. And if you obviously haven't worked for me, ask Natalie, ask Mary, ask some of the people that have already done that with me. Janice, I don't know if Janice is on here, but done some stuff with Janice too. So any questions from anybody about the
Steve?
Yeah.
That was this is Rod Quillen. Great synopsis on what's really going on with mortgage rates. Also, I might add that the Treasury is selling mortgage-backed securities too, which is going to cause spreads to widen as well on mortgage rates. And when you have rate cuts like that, spreads tend to widen on the mortgage rate. So the Federal Reserve, obviously the Treasury is separate from the Federal Reserve, but the Treasury's come out recently talking about selling mortgage-backed securities. They flood the market with that. That's going to widen spreads as well.
Yep. Yeah. And in case anybody doesn't know, sometime in like 2011, they did this thing called quantitative easing.
Yeah.
Basically, the Fed issues the bonds and then buys them back for themselves.
Right.
So that it drives the price of the bond up and drives rates down. Well, in 2022, when rates started going up, that's what happened. The Fed quit buying at massive numbers, and now it's into the private market to go buy those bonds. And when they're not buying them in droves, the value of the bond goes down, spreads get wider, rates get worse. And that's really what we've been experiencing. By the way, the Federal Reserve is not federal, and there is no reserve. So everybody knows there's no reserve there. It's a private entity. So go do your research. I don't know, the Rothschild somewhere down there that controls all the central banks. So that's how it works. So anyway, also one big thing, product wise, if you guys have any self-employed people, we are doing a ton of bank statement loans. So if you have somebody in your like pipeline that you've talked to in the past that was self-employed, that doesn't volunteer to the IRS how well they're doing, like none of us do, right? We're taking our deductions where we can. They want to buy a house, but they've been denied because they didn't have enough income to report. Bank statements is a great product for that. We can do 12 months, 24 months, business bank statements. I have a guy right now that's closing Friday. He had $2,000 a month on his tax returns, didn't qualify for anything. He had $160,000 a month in bank deposits that we could use for income. So his debt ratio is like a 0.01%. with his bank statements, and his rate was like 7.95. So it's not like they're going to pay 11 or 12% if they do a bank statement loan. We do those in-house. Many lenders broker those, and so it takes them 4 or 5 weeks just to get them underwritten. We have that product in-house. It's just part of our expanded guidelines. It's a great product. So if you have any self-employed people, realtors, we have a 1099 only program where we just take the top line of your 1099. So lots of stuff. If you've got a sticky deal, a hard deal, or one that someone couldn't get done, then holler at me and I'll see if I can revive it and make a deal out of it for you.
Sounds great. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
For all the
Thanks.
info.
I'll hang out for a little bit and listen to what else is happening.
Absolutely.
All right,
Have any
guys.
questions for Steve? He is all things mortgage, lending, and loans. So he's the guy to ask. Y'all have questions for him?
Yeah, when are we going for a plane ride in that plane behind you?
Anytime. I love flying. I love fly about 40 to 50 hours a month. So I look for excuses. So
That's a really cool color on that plane too.
Yeah,
Colors the way
thanks.
you got 'em.
We designed it after a Lamborghini because I'm addicted to Lamborghini. And I will be at the Grow conference, and I'm going to get to talk for 20 minutes, and it's titled "Get Addicted." So I'll talk to you guys about how I got addicted to airplanes and cars versus alcoholic beverages. So, any other questions?
Steve, I've got a 1955 Thunderbird you could buy since you like cars so much.
Yeah, I love those for other people.
I'll send you a picture. It's for sale.
I have been restricted from buying cars because I have too many coming. And so I can't, I'm on a budget right now. It's terrible. I got to tell you, it's terrible. So awesome. Anything else? Any other questions, guys and gals?
He's also Lambo Steve on social media. For those of you who don't follow him, you should go follow him. There's a lot of cool stuff on there.
Yeah, go follow my shenanigans.
Yeah.
Try to live on the edge.
All right. I don't have any questions right now. We appreciate you coming on, Steve. Thank you so much for being with us today and talking to all of us. Don't forget to get those tickets. I dropped the link in the chat box. There's also some other information about land scams and all that good stuff. This is recorded, so it will be uploaded to YouTube. And then, of course, in the Power Academy after today's meeting. YouTube, 24 hours, Power Academy, 2 to 3 weeks. So with the quicker option, go to my YouTube channel where it's private, and then you can have today's recording tomorrow. All right. Any questions, comments, inputs before we conclude today's meeting? All right. Well, we're excited, Steve, to see you at our Grow conference here in the next few weeks, October the 13th through the 14th. For you guys who haven't secured those tickets, do that today. If you have any questions about room blocks, get with us as well. And we look forward to seeing you all. I hope you all have a wonderful week and go out and make it a great rest of your week. Bye, y'all.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye. Love
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Steve.